You think you choose who you love, but what if the person you're drawn to is simply the missing part of yourself you refuse to see? Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. The person you call your ideal partner isn't random. It's not fate. It's not chemistry. It's your unconscious mind showing you exactly what you've repressed, rejected, and refused to become. Carl Jung called this the anima and animus, the hidden psychological forces that determine who attracts you and why. And once you understand this mechanism, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Most people believe their romantic preferences are personal, unique, carefully considered. They're not. Your ideal partner is a mirror, and what you see reflected back isn't love, it's projection. Jung understood something most people miss. Every man carries within him an unconscious feminine image, the anima. Every woman carries an unconscious masculine image, the animus. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're psychological structures built from childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, and everything you've suppressed about yourself. And they don't stay hidden. They emerge in the people you desire. What this means for you is simple but brutal. You don't fall in love with people. You fall in love with the qualities you've abandoned in yourself. The quiet, introspective man drawn to the wild, expressive woman isn't experiencing chemistry. He's experiencing recognition. She embodies the spontaneity he's buried. The independent, rational woman attracted to the emotionally expressive man isn't choosing a partner. She's confronting the vulnerability she's rejected. The anima and animus don't bring you what you need. They show you what you've been running from. And this is where most people make the mistake. They think attraction is about compatibility. It's not. It's about completion. But completion built on projection is a trap. Because the moment your partner stops playing the role your unconscious assigned them, the illusion shatters. Let me show you how this works. Principle 1. You project your opposite. Jung observed that the anima and animus are contrasexual. They represent the opposite gender's psychological qualities that you've disowned. If you're a man raised to be logical, controlled, and stoic, your anima will be emotional, intuitive, mysterious. If you're a woman conditioned to be nurturing, agreeable, and empathetic, your animus will be assertive, decisive, independent. Here's the problem. You're not attracted to these qualities because they're attractive. You're attracted because they're familiar yet forbidden. They're the parts of you that were punished, dismissed, or denied during your development. So instead of integrating them, you seek them externally. You fall in love with someone who expresses what you cannot. Consider the man who spends his life building structure, discipline, achievement. Everything measured, everything controlled. Then he meets a woman who's chaotic, creative, emotionally unfiltered. She feels like freedom, like life itself. And he mistakes that feeling for love. But it's not love. It's recognition of his own repressed spontaneity. He doesn't love her. He loves the version of himself he never allowed to exist. The deeper problem is this. When you love someone for what they represent rather than who they are, you stop seeing them. You see your projection. And when they inevitably behave differently than your unconscious script demands, you feel betrayed. But they didn't betray you. Your anima did. Because it was never about them. Principle 2. The projection creates the obsession. Here's what Jung discovered that most relationship advice ignores. The stronger the projection, the more intense the attraction. That's why the most obsessive relationships are rarely the healthiest. They're the ones where you're seeing the least clearly. When your anima or animus is highly activated, the other person becomes larger than life. They're not just attractive, they're magnetic, mysterious, irreplaceable. You start believing they're the only person who could ever make you feel this way. But that's the projection talking. What you're really experiencing is the power of your own unconscious material. Psychologically, this is why people often pursue partners who are emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, or even harmful. It's not masochism. It's the anima or animus intensifying in response to the challenge. The less the person conforms to reality, the more space there is for your projection to fill. You're not chasing them. You're chasing the idealized image your unconscious has created. And this is where the illusion becomes dangerous, because the more you chase the projection, the less you develop the qualities yourself. The man obsessed with the free-spirited woman never learns to access his own spontaneity. The woman fixated on the strong, silent man never develops her own authority. The relationship becomes a substitute for self-development, and substitutes always fail. Principle 3. Integration is the only solution. Jung didn't just describe the problem, he offered a solution, and it's not what most people want to hear. The solution isn't finding the right person, it's withdrawing the projection. It's recognizing that the qualities you're desperate to find in someone else are qualities you need to develop in yourself. The anima and animus aren't guides to your perfect partner, they're guides to your unlived life. This requires brutal self-honesty. You have to ask, what am I avoiding in myself that I'm seeking in others? What qualities do I admire so intensely that I've made them someone else's responsibility? What part of me have I exiled because I was taught it was weak, inappropriate, or wrong? When you start answering these questions, something shifts. The people you were once obsessed with become less mythological. You start seeing them as they are, flawed, human, limited. And that's not disillusionment, that's clarity. Integration means you stop demanding that someone else carry your unlived potential. The Stoic man learns to access his emotions without needing a woman to feel them for him. The agreeable woman learns to assert boundaries without needing a man to be strong for her. You stop seeking completion externally because you're building it internally. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing someone to complete you, you become capable of actual intimacy. Because intimacy isn't projection. It's seeing another person clearly and choosing them anyway. Not because they fill your void, but because they don't have to. So what does this mean practically? First, notice the pattern. Pay attention to the qualities that obsess you in others. Write them down. Then ask yourself honestly, which of these qualities am I refusing to develop in myself? The answer will be uncomfortable. That discomfort is the point. Second, stop outsourcing your shadow. If you're drawn to confidence, start building your own. If you're drawn to vulnerability, start practicing it. The goal isn't to become identical to your projection. It's to integrate the capacity, so that your attraction is based on reality, not psychological need. Third, recognize when you're in love with a ghost. If you find yourself unable to see your partner's flaws or devastated when they act human, you're not in love with them. You're in love with your anima or animus. And the kindest thing you can do for both of you is admit it. Because relationships built on projection don't survive reality, they survive fantasy. And the moment reality intrudes, the fantasy collapses. Perhaps the most powerful thing Jung ever said about this was simple. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your anima and animus aren't destiny, they're mirrors. And the face you see reflected back isn't your soulmate. It's the part of yourself you've been too afraid to become. The person you're looking for isn't out there. They're in you, buried under years of conditioning, repression, and fear. And until you're willing to face that, every relationship will feel like chasing a ghost. You now have a choice. Keep projecting your unlived life onto others and wondering why nothing lasts. Or start integrating the qualities you've been seeking externally. Because the moment you stop looking for someone to complete you, you'll finally see the people in front of you clearly. Not as projections, not as ideals, but as they are. And that's when real connection becomes possible. The question isn't whether you'll fall in love again. The question is whether you'll finally see who you're really falling for.